Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and sorry, Curzon's decided that he's going to try to attack paper over here. It's one of the hearts that Made by Marsha Mom had in a card. There you go. You can have it. You just flipped it across the room. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about where I ended up with my 2019 goals and what are my goals for 2020. So if you are new to my channel, if for some reason you've been a subscriber for a while now and missed the fact I moved and everything was cattywampus from May to present, yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, so my goals did not work out exactly like I had hoped they would, and I did not make the progress through things I had planned on making or had hoped I would make. That being said, I didn't do horrible for 2019. I just didn't do what I wanted to do for 2019. And that's kind of disappointing, but kind of not. Like I said, when I started my 2019 goals, these are goals to kind of keep me on track and thinking about moving forward in my craft and doing different things. This isn't a hard and fast, this must be done. These are guidelines to keep me focused, keep me on track for the things that I know I want to do. And over the course of the year, I can add to them, I can subtract from them based on what I think is really gonna happen. So first off, what were my 2019 goals? And where did I come down on them? So my first goal was to use 50 pounds of yarn. If I had finished the blankets I'd started or finished the poncho I'd started, I have a number of large projects that are about 60% or more done. One of them being about 95% done. I would have hit this goal no problem. Unfortunately, I couldn't block anything for about 7 months this year. So I did run into some blocking issues. Something is moving in my front door. Okay. So I only used 43.88 pounds. Now, it is New Year's Eve. Technically, I could maybe get the poncho done, and that would take it up to 45 pounds, but I'm still not going to hit 50 pounds today. Like, I do not have, 8 pounds worth of stuff that I can just fly out real fast. 50 pounds of other crafts. So I did not do a very good job at tracking my other crafts. That's it. That's all I tracked. And that's a handful of stitch markers. I never weighed my diamond painting because I still haven't framed it yet. Some of my cards, the bookmarks I did for Amber over Ooh Ah Crochet. I really didn't do a good job at tracking what I finished, and I didn't do a good job at weighing what I finished that wasn't yarn related. Mostly, and part of it is I do most of my knitting upstairs because that's something I can take around the house and spend time with Troy, hang out watching TV. We sit at the computers a lot, and I'll knit and crochet while he plays video games, or we'll watch videos together on YouTube. I take my knitting and crochet everywhere with me, so that it tends to get finished upstairs, and I have my scale and my notebook and all that stuff at my desk upstairs. It's my work surface. It's my work. My daily work zone is upstairs. When I finish other projects, though, I'm in the craft room, and I don't have a scale here. I don't have my notebook here. I don't keep those things downstairs. So part of it is I'm finishing things down here and would either have to go get the slides upstairs and bring them down, or downstairs bring them up. Part of it is, like doing the Christmas cards. I'm finishing them in different phases. And as I'm finishing them, I'm sending them out so I can at least start getting things out the door. So I'm not necessarily weighing things completed and grouped. So I didn't do a really good job in 2019 of doing that. But I also had the problem of I couldn't sew. I couldn't do paper crafting. I really couldn't do much jewelry making. The only thing I could really do from May until once we started putting our house on the market, or we knew we were putting our house on the market, I couldn't really junk anything up. So even like my silly notebook projects and stuff that are super duper easy to make, I couldn't really pull out the supplies and do a whole bunch of those. So there's a lot of things that just I couldn't do this year. So yeah, I think I ended it. I had 5 pounds in Christmas cards, 2 pounds in random cards and bookmarks, a little over 2 pounds in Easter cards. I mean, I really. So yeah, I probably hit 50 pounds total used, but my goal for 2019 was 100 pounds total used. So that kind of, yeah. Anyway, use up all my cotton. I did not use up all my cotton, and I'm okay with that. I will insert a picture here of what this bag looked like. Troy must be taking down Christmas decorations because I'm getting more notifications from my doorbell. So this is what my bag of yarn, cotton yarn, looked like after I had started knitting and crocheting through it. I took it out of the box I've been storing it in for the last 6 months since I got it worked down. This is where the bag is now. I mean, it's, and the Instagram picture, like I had that stuff like Tetris in the bag and it was still that full. This, I literally just dumped the bin in here. So I used a substantial amount of cotton this year and I'm very happy with that. I will probably go through what's left in here and gift some whole balls of cotton out, to some friends. I still don't really care for kitchen cotton. I don't mind the Premier Home cotton as much, but your just standard sugar and cream, I don't really like it. And I mean, I love the colors it comes in. This is Mod Ombre. I mean, how pretty is that? I will probably keep this one. This is Countryside Ombre. I mean, the colors it comes in is so beautiful. And you can just do so much with the color combinations at matching. Get natural stripes. But I just don't like working with it. Now, I don't have any. All of my Premier Home I did use. I'm looking at this like as I'm digging through it. And it's like, I just really don't have that much left over. There's more white in here than any one person probably needs. But that's where I got through there. The next one was working through my Knit Picks dishcloth book. I didn't like a lot of the patterns after I did the ones I liked the most and then kind of stopped using it. I piggybacked off of Ross for its Smells Like Yarn, Smell Great Guy. I piggybacked off of a lot of his stash from the past projects where he was working through his stash and he was doing a lot of dishcloths. And if he's like, oh, I really like this dishcloth, I was like, all right, I'm going to do that one next. So I piggybacked off of him a lot before I moved. The Hawthorne dishcloth was really, really nice. And there was another one, that I made quite a few of. Really enjoyed those. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to pull out what I know I'm going to really color-wise, like the Mod Ombre, like that's totally my colorway. I love that colorway. I will make something out of that and probably keep it. But I've got others in here. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of just solids. And, oh, those look really pretty together. I'll see what I want to gift away. Because I'm at this point, I just don't want to work with stuff I don't like. I might come up with something else. I'll wait and see, but I'm just not happy with dishcloth cotton. It's not a product that brings me joy. Goal was 52 hats donated, and I did not hit that. However, total donated hats this year, 10, 20, 30, 42. So I was 10 short. 42 hats this year. That's, I mean, respectable. I mean, that's a very, my goal, I set it out as one a week. I mean, to still end up with 42 hats donated this year. And that's what I donated. That's not just what I made. I made other hats throughout the year that either I kept or were Christmas gifts and things like that. 6 pairs of socks was my goal. I completed 4. This being the 4th pair I completed, and I finished these this morning. I wanted to do my 4 Santa hats left, and I didn't do it. So I still have 1 completed Bernat Boa holiday Santa hat. So hopefully 2020 I will get the other 4 done. End 2019 without scrap yarn. I didn't do this. And I didn't do this for a number of reasons. Number 1, moving made it a lot more difficult. But I didn't end up increasing my overall scraps. I actually have fewer scraps at the end of 2019 than I had at the beginning of 2019. I've got them in separate bins now, so it's kind of hard to show you, but I have a set of bins that are 14 inches high and they're 12 by 12 wide. I've got one of those full is basically what it comes down to, but I have one that's for lace and fingering weight yarns, one that's for DK and Sport, one that is for Aran and worsted, and one that is for Bulky Plus. So I do have it separated into 4 individual bins, which eventually I would like, part of my 2020 goal is to clear off 1 whole set of shelves, 1 row of shelves, and I can set them on the shelf because my cats keep trying to steal the balls out. So I've got to find a way to keep them in hand's reach. I guess I could clear up this shelf a little bit and put them over here, but so, I mean, I did fairly well at using my scraps as I went, and not creating extra scraps. I did work some on my Hexie project, so some of the scraps went into there. I did some scrap hats. So I used my scraps as I went. I just didn't use as many as I could have. Reduced 2 cube units of yarn. My yarn expanded this year. Part of it is I got 2 very large, beautiful gifts that take up a lot of room. I got a bunch of Impeccable from Michaels and a bunch of Basic from Premier. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the cubes in my new craft room, and these are 13 by 13 cubes, whereas my other ones were 11.5 by 11.5. So that's a lot of yarn. I actually increased my overall stash. Oops. That's not to mention, the case sale where a group of my friends and I split up a bunch of these Lion brand mandalas and cupcakes, or there was, like I said, there Heartland and Vanna's Choice were in there. Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of yarn. I mean, at $1 a ball, I think the least amount somebody got was actually only 12, and the most any of us ended up with, probably like 80 balls. So I did not reduce my stash whatsoever this year. I expanded it. Finished my granny Hexie blanket. I did not do this. Part of the reason is I need to block my Hexies. I have 340 Hexies down here that are finished. So as I work on them, I have a whole group that's either just need to have ends woven in. I think there's like 25 that need their ends woven in. I have about 40 that are started but not finished. But this has been an ongoing project now. We're now at the 3-year mark. Just about the 3-year mark. When we knew we were moving 2 houses ago, one of the first things I did was box up all my yarn. And I had just gotten a huge coupon for Joann's that was 30% off, including sale price. And they had the Premier cake pops, which are up too high for me to grab. Literally like half an inch out of my reach there. They had them on sale. It was 3 for $9. Then I got 30% off of that. No, it was 40% off. It was the New Year coupon, back when they used to do their calendar. So I bought a whole bunch of that. And we were moving over the Easter season. So for Lent that year, I was making a shawl a week was my goal. And I was using just that yarn that I purchased specifically for that project. So I started making hexagons out of my scraps as I went. That we moved April of that year, spent 2.5 years at the new house, and we've been here for 2 months. So that's how long this project's been going on and how long I've been putting my scraps into it. Now, at the end of 2018, my worsted weight scraps were nil, because I was still cranking these out. Like I said, I've got 340 down here. I still have probably 25 with their ends needing to be woven in, and another 40 or 50 that are anywhere from round 1 to round 2. But I mean, you can see, I mean, it's literally completely random colors. It's literally just as I've gone, I've thrown these together. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of oranges and browns back here from where I think that's where I made a scarf for my sister-in-law or a hat for my brother. This is my first Premier anti-pilling yarn, and it's like vintage Christmas or something like that. It is just, I made a blanket out of it, baby sweaters. I just finished my last ball doing boot cuffs. Love it. This is actually a Karen cake. This is leftover from a baby blanket. So, I mean, it's literally completely random. But I needed to block these before I start sewing them. And not being able to block anything kind of made finishing the blanket hard. So, did not get that done. But that will hopefully get done in 2020. I'm not quite sure how many Hexies I need. But if I have too many to do one blanket now, I will use Krista's method of just keeping that, like just dropping them down as I go and not really steaming them, but just letting them stretch out and relax over time. I had 2 techniques I wanted to try, and that was double knitting and brioche. I did not get around to brioche. I did try double knitting. So, I mean, all in all, I didn't do horrible for 2019. I completed 179 projects. 43 knitting projects, knitting and crochet projects. I did 10, 20, 30, 40, 55, 58 dishcloths. Now, that's not including my pot holders, lid lifters, anything else I did with cotton. That's just my dishcloths. I did complete 4 blankets. I did 11 shawls and the 4 pairs of socks and the hats. So 2019 really wasn't a bad year for getting things done. I've got everything stapled together here for what I did. I've got 2018's cost breakdown and where I started my channel and went through 25 pounds of yarn in like 4 months. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad year. Given everything that happened, given the moving, given being sick and everything, it's not been a bad year as far as my crafting goes. So what does 2020 hold? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to mark this in the title. Carrie yammers on nonstop forever and 3 years, because I just looked at the time and we're already 20 minutes in. It took me 20 minutes to go through what I did in 2019. Maybe I have to split this into 2 videos, and that way you're not having to. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one here. And then we'll get to 2020's goals. Pippin has decided my new slippers smell like amazing, and he's trying to shove his whole body into my shoe. It is rather impressive. He is totally distracted by sniffing my shoe. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Thus ends what I did for 2019. And I will come back with what my goals are for 2020, because there's a lot to say on my 2020 goals as well. So I will see you guys real soon. Love you guys.